the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. On the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I
What's up? What's up? What's up, Dolphins Nation? Welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Y'all hit the like button on your way in the building. Got a good stream for y'all tonight. I'm not going to be too long, but I have several key things that I need to hit. Go ahead and let y'all know about. Would Vic Fangio be a good fit for the Miami Dolphins? Good and the bad. We're going to talk about that. Gonna give you a little education on Vic Fangio. I know I've done a lot of research over the last 48 hours. Wasn't gonna do it, but everybody keep bothering about it. So I said, let me go and do my homework and deliver the information that most people don't have time to look up. So without further ado, shout out to the Mod Squad, shout out to the members of the channel, everybody who subscribed and everybody who hits the like button. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. Again, I hope y'all are good. I know a lot of people probably sleep right now, but hopefully they wake up to this one tomorrow. First and foremost, let's go ahead and dive right in, okay? I can hear myself. Vic Fangio. Who wants Vic Fangio in Miami? Who wants Vic Fangio in Miami? Let me know in the comment section. What up, C007? How you feeling, brother? Who wants Vic Fangio in Miami? Me. Anybody else? Great question, because all of this love affair for Fangio is starting to concern me as a real Miami fan. How many Super Bowls has Fangio won? We'll talk about it. Me. I do, because his familiarity with Chubb, Fangio or Desi. I take him, but also want a 4-3. Good, sir. Okay. Good to hear, Cease. Don't mind, but love you. Doesn't matter. I don't mind. Don't care. I'm indifferent. Now, all y'all who want Vic Fangio, why? All y'all who want Vic Fangio in Miami, why? Because everybody say he's the hot commodity. Everybody say he's the choice. Somebody got to tell me, why do you want Fangio? What you think possibility of Poyer? That ain't happening. And if it does happen, Miami is stupid. Plain and simple, stupid. All right. A proven D coordinator. What's not to like? Are you sure, John, he's a proven D coordinator? GD, we had a head coach that had 4 Super Bowls and Ross and Greer cut him loose. Took Broncos D to high rankings in 2021. Okay. Triple S podcast say he took the Broncos D to high ranking. So experience, took a D to high ranking. He can help McDaniel with his experience. I don't think he can help McDaniel with his experience. He was a terrible head coach, a flawed head coach who didn't know how to make adjustments and make decisions or build a team. Okay, let's break it down. Just what I figured. Most people don't know anything about Vic Fangio and what made him famous, and everybody's. Let's talk about it, okay? First and foremost, I'm gonna try to be real quick with this and give y'all all the details and not bore you. So pay attention. I'm gonna be moving fast, okay? And I'm gonna be summarizing just to get to the points. Vic Fangio is what the NFL calls a established defensive coordinator that is a guru. He is the guru of defense. Now, I don't want to scare you right away, because it's not exactly the same, but it's just like Adam Gase was the guru for quarterbacks. You see how that works? He was the guru for defenses. Why do they consider Vic Fangio the standard for defenses and the guru for defenses? Let me tell you why. His past experience with other teams, he led trash defenses to amazing defenses. He also has a coaching tree of about 6 coaches that all took his defensive system and they led their teams to good defenses. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's not just Fangio. It's the system that he created. And he didn't create it, but this is what Fangio did. Fangio is the master of pre-snap, post-snap confusion of quarterbacks. How he best got his recognition was making it tough on elite quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes and guys like that, shutting them down. Ain't a large sample size, only a few times, but some big-time quarterbacks shut them down. But he's really known for the Fangio scheme. It's the scheme everybody's looking for. It's not just him, the guy. All of his the guys under his tree, nobody knew who they were, but they got head coaching jobs because they came from the Fangio system and they were going to bring the system with them. And they did, and it was a success. Just as recent as last year, the NFL went on a craze. Fangio has changed the way defense is played in the NFL. These are headlines, y'all. They got videos on YouTube about it. Fangio has changed the way defense is played in the NFL. The guru of defense. Fangio has ushered in a new way to play defense that is shutting down top quarterbacks. This is all facts, okay? As early as last year, they were saying this, okay? Now, what is that scheme that's so different? It's not really a different scheme. It's a lot of 4-2-5, cover 4, cover 6. But the real trick of the scheme is the scheme always shows you something pre-snap, and in post-snap changes completely. They never want the quarterback to know what they're doing, but out of the cover 4, they can change into any formation. They can, as soon as the ball snap, it's a cover 4 pre-snap and it's a Tampa post-snap. It's a cover 4 pre-snap, it's a too high post-snap. He is the master of disguising, right? Now, the only issue, well, we're not going to get you the issues yet, but that's what made Fangio this wizard. Teams weren't used to that. Some of the best quarterbacks identifying pre-snap, they snap the ball, they turning the ball over, they're making mistakes, they're taking too long to make reads because they thought something in their head, and it's a whole different thing now. That's the system. Now, it's genius until it's figured out. So let's talk about this. This is what you all need to be aware of as you hit the like button. That's all you need to know from a positive standpoint about Fangio and his system and his history and where he came from. Also, how the system is formatted, right? What happens is you have 4 guys on the defensive line, right? Now, he always under what's the term? Underload. You know how you got overload and underload? Overload is running the 3 linebackers on the outside of the strong side. You know, if you got a tight end on the right side, we're going to have the linebackers veer on that side. The edge is going to be on the outside of the linebacker because that's the strong side. His defense is never overload, it's underload. The strong side is over here, but he makes the defensive strong side opposite. He overloads the opposite side of the strong side, which is called an underload. It's on the opposite side of the strong side of the offense. He's an underload quarterback. So you're going to have a linebacker right there on the outside, on the weak side where there's no tight end or nothing, and the strong side is over here. So he's an underload quarterback. But what happens when you do that, they don't run any nickel. You don't have a nickel in that system primarily, unless you call a nickel play and get a sub package in. But he primarily does not use nickels. He doesn't primarily run nickel. Just FYI, okay? Which is totally different from what the Miami Dolphins been doing, okay? Now, here's the issue. In order to run that defense without the nickel and to be weak side, you have to have light personnel. That's a positive with Miami. We are a light personnel. We don't have the big, bulky guys, heavy personnel on defense. You need light personnel that can move and speed and fast and react. That's the personnel we have now. So that's a positive for the system. Okay? It fits. But you also need 2 elite safeties that are not just great at speed and all that, because I think Brandon Jones and Javon can handle it, but they also got to process really fast in this system. It's very complex. And I know y'all just automatically, yeah, they can. It's more complex than you think, okay? but I'm not saying they can't, right? So we kind of have half the personnel to fit a Fangio scheme, right? And in Fangio's scheme, a super chat. What happened? Did I miss it? My bad. I don't know much about football clearly, but I hear I shouldn't want Vic with you guys. Want Vic with you guys. Oh, I haven't even gotten to that point yet. I don't know if we should get Vic or not. I'm not making a decision, but I'm leaving it up to y'all after I give you the information that I know of, okay? So here's the deal. That's the type of defense it is. It rolls, y'all. What you see pre-snap is not what we do in post-snap, which it changes. And it's to confuse the quarterbacks, but the personnel you need is a light personnel. Now, this defense has been working in the NFL for like the last 7+ years or whatever with Fangio. It's been a work of wonders. But guess what, y'all? Here come the bad news. Here come the bad news. All the guys under his tree that ran it, they all had success. Let's get that straight now. It's the system, not just the guy, but the system that he's running. It's shown great success. Okay? But last year, that whole system finally got found out. You can only do it for so long. You get this guru system and you keep losing to it. Now offensive coordinators are trying to figure out how do we beat it? How do we beat it? Last year, they figured it out. Everybody figured it out. Everybody figured it out. What the defense allows that Fangio runs, it allows everything underneath. And since you are light, since you have a light package in order to run it, you can run the heck out of the ball. And last year was the first year everybody figured it out. Let me give you a little proof. Here are the 5 teams that ran Vic Fangio's system last year. The Chargers, the Packers, the Vikings, the Seahawks, and the Browns. Those are the 5 guys that come from his tree, and they ran that system last year. Points per game for every single one of these teams given up. Chargers, 28th in the NFL. Packers, 21st in the NFL. Vikings, 24th in the NFL. Seahawks, 30th in the NFL. And Browns, 27th in the NFL. All terrible teams giving up points. The NFL straight up figured it out. They straight up figured out that the Fangio system. And that's not to mention the rushing yards was abysmal. Rushing yards against these teams. Hold on. Green Bay Packers, 32nd. Browns, 30th. Seahawks, 26th. Chargers, 25th. And Vikings, the only ones, were 14th. Overall, these teams can't stop the run. They cannot stop the run. Another reason is because in the cover 4 or the cover 6, how they start pre-snap, this system requires 10-yard cushion on the boundaries. This system requires 10-yard cushion on the boundaries. G-Money, you're right. The Browns' defense was horrible because they ran the same thing. And they were 30th in run D. And literally in points per game, the Browns were 27th, giving up, running this same defense. Same defense. William in the house, what's up, homie? We were talking about your boy earlier. Did you hear that Tom Brady was visiting a school, Miami school? It's sparking Brady rumors in Miami. Yeah, I've been talking about it, but again, I'm just waiting to see what happened, man. I'm trying not to get my hopes up about anything anymore. And if it happened, I'll give my reaction and respond with y'all, man. I ain't got no more setting myself up for hurt anymore. I ain't got it in me. Okay. But guys, This defense has been figured out across the board. The scheme that everybody loved. But guess what we're doing as an organization and all the fans are doing out here? They're living off of his resume. They're going off of his resume and saying, man, Vic Fangio, that dude, bring Vic Fangio in. They're living off the resume, not realizing the system is what was the value, and that system has been figured out. It's been figured out. C's007 said, do the Eagles run that defense? Now watch this. I was going to give you the caveat, C's007. The Eagles do run a cover 4. The Jets also run a cover 4. And Dallas does to a degree. Now, not their base package, but their secondary package. These are always your secondary package. Every team got a secondary package. The Jets are a nickel team, but the cover 4 is their secondary, what they love to go to. The Miami Dolphins, when we say we're a zero blitz team, that's our secondary. Our base is a 3-4. That's our base. But our secondary is what the defense is known as and what they go to. So when we're talking about Vic Fangio, he's a 4-2-5, 4-3 type system with underload. But the cover 4 is the niche of what he's known as far as just like our zero blitzing, if that makes sense, okay? So here's the funny thing. Eagles, Cowboys, Jets, who else? There was one more. Eagles, Cowboys, Jets, run, and it's a 4-2 front. Commanders, Saints, Bills, and 49ers. They all run the same front. The only difference is, here's the two differences that Fangio's system does not incorporate. They don't give 10-yard cushion and they run a nickel. Fangio can't do that because you can't disguise the defense anymore. Those teams, and let me give you the rankings of those teams that run the same 4-2 base as Fangio. The only difference in Fangio's system is the back end with the corners and safeties in the cover 4. They can't afford to press because when they rotate, you leave gaps that can gash you deep every play. So you have to have cushion in Fangio's system. But the Jets, Commanders, Saints, Bills, and 49ers also run a 4-2 front, just like him, but they do it different. They're man-to-man, up close, bump and run, and they deploy the nickel. And look at what their defenses have been ranked for run defense DVOA. Jets are 10th, Commanders are 4th, Saints are 22nd, Bills are 3rd, and the 49ers are 2nd. Same front, 4-2. And also, most of them are overload instead of underload, like Fangio. And look at what those teams are doing now. That's the way you want to play defense, but Fangio's system is the exact opposite. So what are the benefits of Fangio's system? He's not going to allow the deep ball. He's not going to allow the intermediate for the most case, unless it's late in the play. Because Fangio's system also doesn't blitz, ladies and gentlemen. It does not blitz. He does not want to blitz. He does not like to blitz. It's about disguising coverage and hoping, bend but don't break, and hope the quarterback makes the mistake because of the disguise. He does not like sending blitzes. Will he send a blitz on occasions? Yes, but it's one of the least blitz systems. He doesn't like sending the extra blitz, and that's totally opposite of what we need to do because we don't have an organic pass rush now, but that's also a part of his system. Since he is light on the D-line, the pressure never tends to get there in his system unless you have one of the best rushers in the NFL. That's the Fangio system. Teams are running all over those defenses now, that scheme. And teams are now taking all the underneath stuff. When he beat up on Patrick Mahomes, everybody was like, this defense is for real. But Tua scorched that defense. When we played Green Bay, Tua was scorching that defense. All the underneath and all of that. Green Bay didn't give up no deep ball. But that defense allows all the short passes, and Tua kept dinking and dunking in that game, eating. Y'all remember? Except in the fourth quarter when he threw those 3 picks. Because once again, disguising coverage, rolling into something else. They roll into stuff that don't give you the deep ball. And when you look at the first pick, you look at the second one, the third one was just disguise. But the first and the second, trying to take little intermediate shots, they roll the coverage. But go look at that game and look at everything Tua had to get. It was hard. It was tough. And a lot of dinking and dunking trying to move down the field. So this defense, the type of defense Tua can eat alive, but he got to learn how to process so he don't get fooled with what he sees. But screw that. This ain't about Tua. But the point of the matter is the entire NFL has figured out this system now. That's why these guys have such bad rankings. Everybody who ran that system this year. I mean, look at it, y'all. Green Bay ran it and was 32nd. Browns ran it and was 30th. Seahawks ran it and was 26th. Chargers ran it, they were 25th. And Vikings, 14th. And points per game, same teams. Chargers gave up, they were 28th in the NFL in points given up. One of the worst. Packers, 21st. Vikings, 24th. Seahawks, 30th. And Browns, 27th. Imagine if the Seahawks didn't have that. They would have been real contenders this year. If they weren't 30th in the league giving up points, if that defense was right. Browns too. Vikings. I mean, when you look at these teams, Chargers, look at those 4 teams. All of those teams, that they weren't running this system and were doing the right thing. Now, I did my research as well. I got to kick back on the Chargers for a little because I watched videos on this and everything. The Chargers, this is the shocking part. This is proof. The Chargers ended 28th on the season, right? But guess what? The last 4 weeks in the season, they were playing at the 14th level. Why were they playing as if they were the 14th ranked team for the last 4 weeks, but for the rest of the season, they were doing Vic Fangio's system and they were 28th? Because the Chargers defensive coordinator, starting the same week they played the Dolphins, they changed up. They finally got out of that system. Somebody from Fangio's tree, their defensive coordinator, their coach, their head coach, got them out of that tree, got them out of the Fangio defense and played more man press. And they started it the week they started with us. And they did it for the rest of the season. And they were 14th ranked instead of 24th, instead of 28th ranked. When they played us was the first time they made a defensive adjustment all season. And you can see that with the video I played, y'all. They came in with a game plan against the Dolphins. And they played man press. And they took away the middle of the field. Which is crazy. So it's crazy that the Chargers were giving up 28. They were 28th in the league giving up points per game. As soon as they got out of that system in the last 4 weeks, they were 14th in the NFL. That system has been figured out. That doesn't mean that Fangio isn't the type of coach that will recognize my system's been figured out. I need to adjust now. I don't know. I know that in Denver, they hate him because he made no adjustments as a head coach. So I don't know. This Fangio system that was the guru of defenses that's taking storm in the league has been figured out. There's literally a video on YouTube right now. This defense is taking the league by storm. All of these coaches are using it now for how great it was and how good it stopped some of the best quarterbacks a year ago. And now a year later, last month, the video was released how one man ruined defenses in the NFL. The video's out there. Go watch it. How one man ruined defenses in the NFL, and they got a picture of Vic Fangio because everybody installed that system and every team suffered this year. Every team was figured out this year. All the teams that used that system were some of the worst defenses in the NFL this year. And where was Fangio? So it's not his resume that you need to look at. It's the system that got him the resume while people didn't know what to do against it. His resume speaks for itself. Yeah, because it worked, and it worked very well for a while. Vic worked wonders in Chicago, but I don't think y'all have the safeties for his system. That you have to have the safeties for that system. He needs to come back to Chicago. Brisker and Eddie Jackson are the best safety duo in the league. Also, Vuk is gonna run his own D better. Well, William, here's the deal. He did do work wonders in Chicago, but nobody had seen the defense. Nobody was used to it. Pre-snap, post-snap changes. Nobody was used to it. Now they're used to it. Now teams know what to do against it. All those good years with the Bears, 15, 16, 2017, 2018, Denver, running the show. Last year, all of a sudden, everybody that used that defense struggled. But I'm not saying he can't adjust. Because even though he wasn't a coordinator in Philly, he's a consultant in Philly, and they run the same defense, but it's different from what he likes to do. They deploy the man press a lot more. TD, all defenses disguise coverages. No, you're not getting it, though. The what he does is totally different than 90% of the league. The underload, most teams don't underload anything. You're putting all your players on the weak side instead of the strong side, but you're rotating coverage. Yeah, they disguise, but he disguises everything out of the 4-2 base, cover 4 with cushion. Do me a favor, go on YouTube, put in Vic Fangio, and you'll see a video that says this defense has changed the landscape of defenses. They're making it, they're talking about how great the defense is, right? And then find the video 1 year later, which was dropped a month ago, that says one man has ruined defenses in the NFL. And 6 teams run it now, and all 6 of them suck this year. The exact same way he runs it. Go look at it, and you'll see exactly all the details of what I'm talking about. And I went and I watched some minimal film. I couldn't watch all of them. I watched a few plays from like 3 of those teams on the All-22, and I saw what they were doing. It's exactly his system. And I saw where it's good, and I saw where it gets eaten up every time. Why they struggle. It's hard to stop the run in his system. You're underloading. You're putting all your players on the weak side instead of the strong side. All you got to do is run the ball on the strong side. And that's what teams did. They ran the heck out of the ball. And I'm showing you that here. Green Bay, 32nd in the league, run that system. Browns, 30th. Seahawks, 26th. Chargers, 25th. Vikings, 14th. I'm showing you. See, the thing is, he's the architect, so he can run it best, like Flores versus Boyer. Listen, man, y'all, you believe that all you want. It's not a matter. Listen, I have no question that Vic Fangio can come and get this defense operating the way he wants to. But the defense is built to stop guys like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes that like to take the top off the football. It's a bend but don't break zone defense. He is giving you all the underneath. A guy like Tua will eat this defense alive every single week. Just like it don't matter if he's the architect. You got to look at what's going on in the league with that system. And now this league is starting to transition back to a running game league. We've been in the wide receiver. Remember, we were running backs for about when Zeke and all of them, we were running backs. Then we got into wide receivers for the last 3-4 years. We're literally transitioning back into the run game as a league. Don't forget about that shift that happens every 3 to 4 years. Because everybody been gearing up in the secondary. Now teams are starting to run and dink and dunk again because everybody built to not let the top go now. Look at Patrick Mahomes them this year. They don't take deep shots no more. They run the ball, dink and dunk their way down the field and eat all day. And Vic Fangio is the man that made the Chiefs change into that. They realize we can't win like this unless we make a change. And now Chiefs will eat the Fangio defense alive the way they play now because they give up the run and they also give up the short passes. That's what the defense is. It's bend but don't break and hope the quarterback make a mistake. So they live off of mistakes. They get turnovers. And it's going to work against the scrub quarterbacks. It's going to. So you're still going to win games every week. Defense going to look good against all the young scrub quarterbacks. But when you get in those playoffs, it's going to rear its ugly head. You got to take a chance on Vic. If he created a D that changed the league as a GM, you got to try to take a chance on him. A coach as good as him can reinvent his defense. It's been the same thing he's ran from day one. Just saying, it's been the same thing he ran since day one. So can he reinvent? Because all I can do is go off of what he did recently when he was a head coach of Denver. Would not make any adjustments. Jim Schwartz played press man, bump and run good for our DBs. We should be better in a Y9. All it did was confuse our DBs and blown coverage. You know, I'm scared of a Y9 with our personnel because a Y9 is going to make life harder for our tackles, Christian and Zeeler. That congestion in there, they thrive because they get to bully and push people into people. That Y9 is going to make it easier for O-lines to identify who they need to double and who they need. It's harder for stunts. Also, Y9, you'd hope you got ends that can get off. Jalen Phillips and them ain't getting off. Ogball, before he got hurt, wasn't getting off. Then you giving them a little bit longer path to the quarterback. It's a little tricky for me. I'm kind of like hesitant of it. And again, I'm not saying Fangio wouldn't reinvent himself or he wouldn't have us rolling, but I can guarantee y'all it ain't going to be right away. It ain't going to be first year. It's not going to be first year. This defense is built to, as time goes, they get better and better together because it's more complex than y'all know. TD, you're forgetting when he was the D coordinator for the Bears, we did give up a bunch of yards, but our red zone D was crazy good. The closer you got to the end zone, the harder it got. And I get it. It's bend but don't break. It's bend but don't break. But I'm sorry, this year the proof is in the pudding. All the guys he taught the defense that went on to coach, they had success as well in that defense, top defenses with it. All of them. But this year, the league figured that crap out because every single one of them were in the fourth quartile just about in defense this year. The league, for the most part, figured that system out. Stop taking deep shots and just take what they give you, the dink and dunk, and run the ball on the strong side. And they got torched. See, and guess what? All these teams, fourth quartile in points per game. So they bent but didn't break, but they actually broke because they gave up more points per game. So it's tough, man. My bad, TD. I'm talking Browns. Vic defense sucks. Oh. But like I said, I don't know. We don't know what we're gonna get now with them. It's tough. Because these guys are familiar with the Flores system on defense, and now it'll be a Vic system. And it's just sad because we had a great coach that was defensive minded in Brian Flores. Somebody posted this today, and I was actually shocked reading it. In 2020, do y'all know how many points we scored with Ryan Fitzpatrick and Tua and Brian Flores? We scored 404 points. Tua, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Myles Gaskins, Devontae Parker. That was pretty much our team. I don't know if y'all remember, Gesicki was dealing with some shoulder issues too that year. And this year, and that was 16-game season, by the way, y'all. 16-game season. That was a 16-game season. Less games, okay? Less games. This year, with Mike McDaniel, Tua, Tyreek, and Waddle, we scored 397 points, even less. We scored less points with Mike McDaniel's offense than we did with Flores' offense. Let that sink in. And before you say, yeah, but Tua missed 4 games this year. That year, Tua didn't play 6 games under Flores. Tua didn't play 6 games under Flores. I don't get it. It just doesn't make sense to me. We put up 397 points this year. And that year under Flores, we put up 404. And we sitting here talking about he couldn't build the offense. Is that with defensive touchdowns? Both. It's with defense and offense. But this is what the team produced. Points. And remember, this was the same 2020 season that we couldn't score on the Raiders and Fitz had to come in and bail the day. We couldn't score on the Broncos and Fitz had to come in and try to bail the day but couldn't get it done. This is the same season where the Broncos held us to 0 points for about 3.5 quarters, and Fitz came in, threw a touchdown, and then we couldn't win at the end. No, I know Flores scored points on defense as well. I know that. But all around on the team, these are the points you put up. This is what y'all got to understand. Points are points, offense or defense. The teams Flores had put up 404 points in 16 games, one less game. The team that Mike McDaniel had put up 397 points with an extra game. He also had, I heard somebody say that. Yeah, but he had Changeli, but I thought he couldn't get a staff. That's even more of a positive for Flores. He chose Changeli specifically. Handpicked. He handpicked Chan Gailey. So when everybody like couldn't get a staff, you don't want to give him credit for that? You want to use that as an argument? Yeah, but he had Chan Gailey. But y'all knock him for not being able to have certain people on the staff. It doesn't matter if our offense scored 0 points and our defense scored 404. Our team produced 404 points in that season. And our team produced 397 with 17 games with McDaniel, with an extra game. One dude in 3 years, TD, seriously? I don't get what you're saying about one dude. What about one dude? Who is one dude? Just curious. I don't get what you're talking about. You missed my chat. Look up points per game with Tua. Then without. That's your answer. Oh yeah, we already did that too. Listen, bro, I always come with the receipts, bro. Don't worry, I've already done that. Points per game with Tua, 24.4. Points per game without Tua that year, 27.2. That was under Flores. With Ryan Fitzpatrick, 27.2 points per game. With Tua, 24.4. We already did that. Already done. Hold on. I got you. I got you. Give me a second. I did that too. Give me a second. I gotta look up. Hold on. I have to look up some stuff. Give me a moment. I'll be as fast as I can. I've been waiting on the line going on. No, he played that game. Uh, 65. All right, hold on. Or 25.54 for Tua. This year, points per game, 25.5 for Tua. 25.5. To be exact, 25.538. So 25.54. 25.5. They're your points per game with Tua. With Ryan Fitzpatrick, 27. Hopefully that answered your question. Um, 2022, our defense was the worst in the AFC East. Not surprised. All right, Ronnie, I'll see you later, bro. But that's I just don't understand it. It just doesn't, it's not registering for me. It's not registering. We put up more points with Flores regardless. Even with Tua. Wait. No. Tua was 24 a game, 24 point something a game in Miami with Flores. And 25, he was 1 point more with Tua and with this offense. But Ryan Fitzpatrick is what really made Flores' offense better. I don't believe they argue that Fitz was better. Yeah, Fitz just made the whole offense better. Yeah, but that's what they do. Hate the way that beat writers and Dolphin YouTubers hated on Flo Omar and that idiot Big O. It was a full-out campaign, all in the name of Tua, just to minimize Tua. No, Tua can't take this blame. We got to put this on Flores because Tua's our guy. He's our saving grace. We're building our platform based off of Tua. You put it behind it. You put your platform behind the quarterback, and if he work out, your platform thrives forever. If he doesn't work out, your platform ain't nothing. That's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. That's how it works. Skip Bayless is behind Tom Brady his whole career. Look at what that does. Shannon Sharp behind LeBron as much as he can, and it'll always stay relevant because it'll be an argument every time because at least they're still there putting up numbers. As an analyst, you grab a quarterback, you ride with them, and if they take you to the promised land and people know you as the person that talk positive about them, you'll ride it forever. That's the game out here in media. I don't play that game. I just play the truth. So guys like me stay in the middle, get a whole bunch of people that see the picture and a whole bunch that hate you. That's how it works. Ride the quarterback and just hope that he ends up being that dude because you'll be able to say you were right and you saw it all along and he's the guy and everybody loves you because you were right and you support the guy and you go for broke and anything outside of that, you got to take the blame off of him. You have to be the person that finds the excuse for him because everybody looking for you to have a logical reason of why he was trash that make him look a little less trash so we can understand. That's what's going on out here. You hear some of these excuses now, it's ridiculous. Oh, Tua's great season this year. Why aren't y'all talking at all about the inconsistencies? None of you want to talk about them 4 games at the end, and you don't want to talk about that made his whole system inconsistent, but you still walk around here throwing out his great season. How do we build off of Tua's great season? Where did great come from? He had 3-4 great games. He played 12 and a half games and he only had 3.5 great ones. Where do we get this great season narrative? Straight up getting away with it in their headlines. Highest passer rating. You saw MVP level play. versus the Lions. Man, we done seen MVP level play from Mike White. We done seen MVP level play against Zach Wilson with Zach Wilson. We done seen MVP level play with Davis Mills. What's that boy over there out there with the Washington Commanders? It's one of them out there too. We done seen MVP level play. No one called them MVPs. CDU making ish up. I didn't say anybody called them MVPs. We've seen them play games where you were like, hold on, ooh, they balled out today. Did we not see a Mike White ball out game before? Did Heineke not have a ball out game before? I think I streamed Heineke's ball out game one time. I'm not saying that they were shouting MVP level. That's just these delusional tweeners that started that crap. You said it so much you had the national media saying it. That man was never in no MVP conversation. You know why? Who selects the league MVP, y'all? Do y'all know who decides who the league MVP is? Do y'all know who decides who the league MVP is? Oh, Lord. Y'all don't know? 50 sports journalists. 50 sports journalists. 50 reputable sports journalists. The Associated Press it comprises of 50 voters who decides who the league MVP is. I don't know if they disclose who all get a vote, though. I wish they had a list of who all gets a vote. But all I'm going to say to y'all is these writers never saw him as an MVP candidate. They saw 3 games where he was playing at a high level that's MVP worthy if he can keep it up. But that don't put you in the conversation. That don't put you in the conversation. It's just all these fans running around and on different platforms clapping back at Stephen A, Skip Bayless, and Shannon Sharp, and all the and the media heads, Acho, and all of that. These are the people that's on TV that are literally feeding into y'all being on their thread. So they're like, Tua was in the MVP conversation. No, y'all were the people. Don't see this what just like Acho. This is what get me. Acho is on TV saying that Tua is in the MVP conversation. You were one of the first people to say, I would put Tua in the MVP conversation right now. And then weeks later, Tua was in the MVP conversation. Yeah, because you put him in there. You put him in there. You want to make it seem like, oh, he's in the MVP conversation. Y'all the ones put him in there. Not them writers. By the way, nobody cares nothing about being in an MVP conversation. If the Jets fans were dumb and stupid enough to have Zach Wilson's back, they could be arguing on every platform, talk about Zach Wilson is in the MVP conversation. The media will be like, they crazy. But they'll also say, I mean, they were putting him in the conversation. Because if anybody could be in the conversation if you're talking about them. But does that make you a real MVP candidate? Was Tua Tagovailoa ever a top 3 MVP candidate? No, he wasn't. Some of these same media talking heads like Acho was trying to put him in there. He should have never been in over Jalen Hurts. He should have never even been considered over Patrick Mahomes. He should have never been considered over Joe Burrow because after that first game of 4 picks, Joe Burrow got to work. There's plenty of guys he should have never been considered over, but automatically they were trying to sell that. The only reason they were trying to sell it because Acho was trying to take his. See, I'm telling y'all don't understand sports media. Pick a quarterback. Hope that you're right and ride that wave. Let's be honest about something. Before this season, was Acho that popular? We all knew who Acho was. I did. Got a podcast and all. But does anybody else realize that Acho became a bigger and well-known name because of the Tua this year in the Herbert drama? Did he not become a bigger sports personality just because of his takes on Tua and Herbert? Did nobody notice that? And it's genius. I commend him for it. But nobody noticed that. Making moves. He wants to be Stephen A so bad. He making the right moves to do it. But only if Tua could have backed him up, though. If Tua would have backed him up, he would have still been preaching it. If Tua was in the playoffs right now and went that far, never had them bum games, Tua would be, Tua's in the MVP conversation. He might win it. Look at what Tua's doing. Herbert's at home. Josh Allen's at home. Man, he would have ended the season elevated. Next year, he would have been talking about a whole new show. He wouldn't have had the time slot he had. He would have got bumped up 1 hour. He would have been right before no mercy, no mercy. Let's go face to face. I embrace debate. I don't make mistakes. I just make my case drops mic when I'm done. I'm on undisputed. He would have been right before Skip them. He'd have been getting his own show. He'd have been like, so long, I ain't doing this 4-5 p.m. no more. Thanks. Peace, joy. Peace. I don't even know. Is it undisputed? I mean, he would probably been on there or ESPN. Peace, y'all. Peace, joy. Peace, swaggle. Got my own show. I'm right before Stephen A. Right before him. Got that slot now. No mercy. That's the name of the game when you up there. I know it. Trust me, because if I'm ever up there, I'm going through the league, and right now, I'm bigger. I ain't dumb, no. I ain't. Now, here's the deal. Acho went high risk, big reward. I mean, big risk, big reward. He put his name behind Tua. He went big risk, big reward. Put his name behind Tua. Funny thing, Marcellus Wiley said the same thing you're saying. For real? You got to send that to me. That's crazy. I ain't never heard nobody say what I'm saying right now, but this is what I see. He went big risk, big reward. Screw that. Herbert ain't do nothing. I don't even think they're going to do nothing. And I don't like Herbert anyway because he don't like Herbert. I like Tua. I don't know if Tua going to do something, but I'm a hope so. Ain't it funny? He wasn't talking that crap in the first game of the season. You barely heard him talk about Tua at the beginning of the season. You barely heard him talk about Tua. That miracle comeback with Baltimore. Look at what Tua did. That's when it started. And then that Lions win, he got the green light to go all in his mental. Oh, I'm going all in on Tua. This is real. Tyreek and them going to carry him as long as that man already saw his new show transforming. And I'm going to be honest, he probably still already might get the new show. Because, again, he's gotten more popular. And there's a specific group of fans that follow him more. I'm telling you, his Instagram went up. His Twitter went up big time. And the network notices that, oh, you got more influence. It's time to put you in front of a better slot. That's how it works. You already know about his podcast, but I'm talking about getting big checks. Them big checks. And that's the guy that talk about the guy forever. Nobody caring about no LeBron no more. Man, hurry up and keep stat padding and get Kareem records so you can retire. Nobody caring about that. LeBron look like he be falling asleep on the bench most of the time now. But he a topic of conversation every morning for Shannon Sharp. Why? Because all of LeBron ears, the big sports figures, you want to talk about them. You love them so much. Same thing with Brady. Same thing with the Cowboys. These are just big topic teams, big topic players. Grab onto a big topic player, and if they become bigger than life, you're going to go to the top with them. Especially if you debate people furiously and you got all the right excuses for them or why this and that, and it ain't their fault. Luka up next. Who out here talking about Luka on an obsessive scale like that? You got to grab a young guy that like Tua was the perfect candidate, because if he did it, man, you can follow that for the rest of the career, because you also got to grab a controversial guy that a lot of people also don't like. Tua was the perfect candidate. And if Tua could ball out to a level to where he just keeps on surviving, the people who are with him and the people who aren't with him, it's always going to be plus for them. It's a benefit for me too, but not on the strong side. It's a weak side benefit, but it's still a benefit. Trust me, I could be doing way better if I praise Tua. But there is a benefit for being honest about him too, because people want that. People don't like people being glorified, especially if they feel you being glorified more than you should be. They don't like that. So they want to see the rebuttal. Tua's the perfect candidate. If he can keep surviving, because he's going to always be good enough not to be good enough, especially don't let him get a Super Bowl or something like that, and he's still that good enough not to be good enough guy. Those are the players that everybody win, even the detractors. Think about it. Who's the biggest Tua-neer in media? Who's the biggest Tua-neer in media? I'm gonna show y'all what I'm talking about when you name them. I don't know who it is. I'm just asking y'all who y'all think. I have no clue. Acho? Okay. Dan Orlowski, whoever it is, right? Imagine me and them on a show. And Tua's playing good and he's also playing bad. Tua's going far in the playoffs, then he loses in the AFC Championship because he had a bad game. Tua finally wins a Super Bowl, but the score was 17-16 and the defense scored once. You see what I'm saying? Imagine me and that person on ESPN. It'll carry ratings. Every day, there's something about, just like, how do you feel about LeBron taking the day off to go to this instead of being with his team? Everything he does is a story. How do you feel about Tua on the golf course the day, the morning before a game? It'll be a big story, and we'll be on there going back and forth. You see what I'm saying there? You find that's how they make you. It's always that one guy that's polarizing. If they could be great but also have flaws, and be great and also have a rebuttal, it makes for perfect TV. It makes for perfect entertainment. It makes for perfect entertainment, man. So, it is what it is, man. But like I said, I just don't understand how Flores gets such a bad rep. Well, under him, we actually put up more points as a team with one less game. Under Brian Flores, we got more points as a team in one less game. Because the reality is, it don't matter how you get the points, you got them. So it is what it is. TD, would you bring in Carr and let him Tua duke it out for QB1 in training camp and preseason? Bro, what are you talking about, duke it out? Carr ain't competing with nobody. Carr going to be your starting quarterback. I mean, come on. Let's keep it a buck, y'all. Carr ain't coming to compete with no quarterback for a starting job. He going to be a starter. Be like, hey, Carr, we want you to come in and compete for QB1. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. Nah, this ain't for me. I'm trying to go somewhere where I'm going to be number one. I ain't got time for your politics. Every year is 5 teams that gonna need a quarterback no matter. Think about it. Think about the Atlanta situation, the Colts situation last year, all them kind of teams. Carr guarantees starting in the NFL next year. It ain't no compete. If they brought in Carr, it ain't to compete. It's to be the starter, period. Another thing, Dolphin fans need to stop acting like we're the ones that got leverage in any situation. All I see today is headlines. Dolphins discussing contract terms with Vic Fangio. Dolphins might choose him as the next defensive coordinator. Let's get something straight. Dolphins ain't choosing no Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio chooses you. He's the top candidate. If Vic Fangio picked up the phone before he even interviewed and said, hey, I want to be your DC. All right, come on, let's sign the deal. This is what we can offer. It's that simple. He didn't come to interview today. He came on a recruiting trip to let y'all try to recruit him on a college campus visit. All the Fangio interviews today. That man ain't interview. He came to hear your pitch. Atlanta want to talk to him. Eagles tried to talk to him. Again. Two other teams. I done already forgot. It's 2 other teams trying to talk to him as well. We ain't the only ones. People ask me, I can't stand Dolphin fans that think that we got the choice. They need to choose Fangio. He already choosing. He the top candidate. He's the top freaking candidate. He's already choosing by default. You ain't interviewing him. He interviewing you. What kind of control y'all giving? What y'all gonna do if I want to change that on the personnel? Ain't no say y'all. I can't stand Dolphin fans that think like that. Like we're the ones that's what made me mad with the Flores thing. Flores couldn't bring in the staff. Well, it's hard to sell when you. How is Flores his rookie year supposed to bring in a staff when you telling everybody we about to strip the whole roster? God dog, y'all finna give me bums off the street? And that's gonna go against me? Did McDaniel have to come in with a strip roster? Ain't nobody want to put their resume, especially no great coach. Ain't no great coach coming into a new situation where you rebuilding and you getting rid of your best talent. Not no great coach that got options. None of them is coming into a situation where you're about to trade Laramie Tunsil. You finna get rid of all the talent and you about to have all guys that worked at Walmart last week. Flores couldn't bring in a staff. It was supposed to be hard. So you're not going to come the first year. The second year, you're not going to come because that's the first year you're going to be bringing in players. And the third year, you want to bring guys in, but once again, it's still Miami. Too much drama was surrounding us at that time. And I'm still trying to figure out with this new coaching staff that Mike McDaniel has already put together, who in the heck did something? Who developed somebody? I'm still trying to figure out in this new coaching staff, who developed somebody? Who got developed? And don't name nobody on defense because bringing Vic Fangio in, he also probably going to be requesting to bring his own staff in as well. Well, I don't want Patrick Surtain and Madison. I want these guys. I don't want that guy. I want these guys. Remember that too. TD, what do you think about Vic so-called being a done deal, as Twitter says? It ain't. It's a done deal for us, but not him. Like, he got to go ahead and accept a job offer. Of course, I know we offered him a job. People make it seem like, yeah, we choose Vic. I know we offered him. Of course we did. He the top candidate. He knew you were offering a job when you requested to see him. When they interviewing those other guys just in case he say no. And he decide maybe I want to go to Atlanta because they pursuing him heavy. I need dogs in that secondary, and you want me to come to an aging Xavier Howard whose contract is locked in for 2 years, a Byron who I don't even know what y'all think about doing with him. I got 2 young safeties, one of them coming off of a major injury. Yeah, Surtain gone, but yeah, I was throwing it out there. Thank you. Man, that man was interviewing us today, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get that straight. Now, I do have something else I want to say about it, though. I don't think Greer wants Vic Fangio. Mike may want him, but I don't think Greer wants him. I don't think Chris Greer wants Vic Fangio. I know Chris Greer too well. At least I think I do. He don't want Vic Fangio. Why do I think that? Because if Vic Fangio, if the defense doesn't work, right? Say we still struggle on defense with Vic Fangio. Whose fault is it going to be? You just got an established defensive coach. Who is the blame going to fall on? Who do you think the blame is going to fall on? All it takes is Vic Fangio to say it's not working because this isn't the personnel I need. I need my personnel. Who does the blame fall on then? Because if we don't win the next 2 years and we lose just like we did or worse, and the defense ain't playing well, they're going to keep pointing to the defense. But you just brought in Vic freaking Fangio. Who you think that's going to fall? That ain't falling on Mike McDaniel. That ain't going to fall on Mike McDaniel. And we're talking about somebody who already been a head coach. That's also dangerous for Mike McDaniel. Let you start 0-6 next year. You get fired and we're having Fangio as the interim head coach. See, stuff like that happen when you got a guy that been a head coach that's established. Let that defense play well next year and that offense struggling and we start out 2-8. McDaniel getting fired mid-season and we have promoted Vic Fangio as the interim head coach. Things like that happen, man. You don't think Greer thinks about the threats of it? If his personnel ain't it, Greer ain't got enough to go change it. What if Fangio say, I can't do Brandon Jones. I need a better safety back there to run my system. Because the core of his system are the two great safeties. You got to have two elite safeties. I know y'all crazy about Javon Holland, but that may not get it done for Vic Fangio. He may feel like he wants other guys. So what you think they gonna do? Ain't no Jordan Poyer. Nobody's spending no $15+ million on no safety with all when you done draft the young ones. But again, it may not be a fit for Vic Fangio. See, Fangio came in that building today, and he ain't have to answer to nothing. We had to answer to everything. They're talking about contract details. Of course he is. First of all, how much y'all paying me if I ever even decide to come so we can save all the formalities? So they were doing the contract details. Oh, okay. I will be willing to come for that if I decide. They worked that out first. Now let's talk X's and O's. How much control will I have? Will I have full, complete control of the defense? And when I say that, do I got to answer to Mike McDaniel? And maybe he ain't got no problem with answering to him. I'm just saying. These are all questions some of these guys ask. You got 4 teams drooling over you. Please come here. Can I have full control of the defense? Which means I don't want to hear your mouth, Mike. And those be them coaches that's fussing at each other on the sideline because one can't fire the other. T. Rich said Fangio doesn't have that much cachet for roster control. Yeah, you do. If Atlanta willing to give it to him, you want me, I want control. See, y'all don't realize Fangio is going to get the best offer, right? Then he going to tell all the other 3 teams, they offering this. If you can match it, I'm highly considering you. All of them going to try to match it. And if one will give him full control, he gonna go to the other three. Will I have full control? And you can say, no, we ain't giving you full control. You ain't got that cachet. All right, appreciate you. Atlanta, let's go. He do have the cachet because he got multiple teams. And as long as one give it to him, then he got it with all of them. And if whoever don't want to give it to him, he just go with the one he'll get it with. It's that simple. As long as one team will give it to him, full control, then he got the cachet. Because he can boldly go to the other ones and demand it. And if they say no, then you lose out. Because I already got a job. They willing to do it. If he was that good, he would be a head coach candidate. He just got demoted from head coach. Let's not sit here and act like there ain't a few defensive coordinators in the league that don't have full control over the defense and answer to the general manager. Even some of these coordinators going to get everything they can if they can. Especially with a young coach like Mike McDaniel. It's usually the young coaches that get that kind of staff around them that got some say. He's already a defensive consultant with the Eagles, but they considering it. So, like I say, man, it's going to be real interesting. I'm all for Vic Fangio. I ain't want this stream to make y'all think I'm not. I'm all for it with the hopes that he can make the adjustments, but I'm not expecting anything in year one. I'm looking at year two to see the fruits of the labor. The only issue is that could be a problem for this team if we struggle next year. It could be a problem. I don't think we have 2 years to develop the defense with a new system to execute the exact way he wanted to. You need a new team because you don't seem to like no one on the roster. Oh, I love many of these guys on the roster. But the truth be told, I can be honest about why do I need a new team because I'm honest about them. I didn't say I didn't like anybody on the roster. I can go top to bottom and tell you the reality of this team. That don't mean I don't like nobody on it. It don't mean I don't like anybody on it. I like Tyreek Hill, but I feel like he's stunning the offense because we force feed him and don't get other people involved on a regular basis. I can't have that opinion. I love Jalen Waddle. I just feel like sometimes he's inconsistent. He drops balls, he fumbles, and he always limping, always dealing with something. I can't have that opinion. It don't mean I don't like him, but it's the truth. Love Teron Armstead, but you're only going to get him 12 games a year. I can't have that truthful opinion without you saying I don't like nobody. Connor Williams is a great offensive lineman. The man just can't snap a ball to save his life consistently. I can't be honest about that and still like him. Robert Hunt is my dog. That's one of my favorite players on the team. He's starting to be a little less disciplined with these penalties. I can't say that and just be honest. Eichenberg trash. That's just honest. Austin Jackson trash. That's just honest. Mike Gesicki don't get used on the offense. I love Mike Gesicki, but they don't use him. Just honest. They don't mean I don't like him. Durham Smythe, all them ain't even worth talking about. So I don't have to be accused of liking them. Tua has talent, but inconsistent with it and always hurt. I like him, but I just being honest. Teddy, I don't need to talk about him, like him or not. Skyler, I don't need to talk about him, like him or not. He's raw. He's young. He's going to make mistakes. He may have a future, but, I'm just being honest. Ingold, great tight end. Led the AFC in yards and receptions this year, by the way, if y'all didn't know. Ingold did. But why in the heck you on the field with a cast trying to catch footballs, Mike McDaniel? Why you got a tight end, a fullback that only got one hand catching ball? Y'all remember that game? I still can't get over that. It's like they totally forgot. All right, we're going to dial this play up. It's going to Ingold. Oh, I'm open. Oh, I forgot. I only got one arm. Dang, coach, we all forgot, didn't we? Man. But I like him. That don't mean I don't like him. Man. Cedric Wilson, I don't like. We gave you $8 million to do nothing. I don't like you. Yeah, I don't. Sherfield, I like Sherfield. I just wish he was involved more. That ain't his fault. I just purely like him. They need to involve him more. No negative to say about Sherfield. Coaches need to involve him more. That is your whole offense. I don't dislike any of them, but I can't be honest about what's going on with them in the flaw in their game. Come on, man. Defense, Melvin Ingram. He was amazing in preseason. Started the season on fire. I don't remember the last time I called his name. Maybe he on IR and I don't even remember. Jalen Phillips, a dog, and I love him, but his number slipping. Lower than last year. More tackles, though. He got more tackles, though. I need them sacks, baby. I need them sacks. Chubb, don't get me started. I don't like him. He ain't done nothing for me to like other than a strip sack finally in one game. Christian Wilkins, I just love him. He the best player on the team right now. He's the best player on the team right now. Yep, better than Armstead because he's more available. With the exception of maybe Tyreek. But those guys, I love me some Christian Wilkins. I ain't got nothing negative to say about Christian Wilkins. That's a real dog. That's a real dude. That's my guy. That's my guy. Zeeler, love him so much too. Starting to fall off a little, but he's still strong. By 10, I ain't getting into Jenkins and all of them. Ogba, gave him that money. Straight trash started out. He got hurt. Saved the perception. Truth. Straight truth. Jerome Baker, never liked him. You're right. I don't like him. Not in Miami. Feel like he eating up money. Ain't not aggressive enough. Doesn't attack. Just my thoughts. My opinion. And Landon, you know what? I ain't talking about none of the linebackers. I don't like none of them. You got me there. I don't like none of our linebackers. Every single one of them. I don't like none of them. I don't care if I'm missing one. Yeah, but TD, he's actually that one pretty good. No, I don't like none of them. I don't care. I don't like none of them. You got me on that one. Yeah, I need a new team linebacker. I'll get you. You got me on that. Xavier Howard, phenomenal player, falling off. I've been trying to trade him for 3 years on TDPHINSTALK, and rightfully so. You should have been listening to me. Byron Jones, missing in action. Got the surgery because you tried to screw him over, so we got it late. Nick Needham, I love him. The injury kicked in. Tough. Shout out to Dale Michael with the donation. Appreciate you, homie. Who else we got? Cater Cole, young, made some plays, got burnt on some plays, but overall, I love the solid start. Now let's see what you can become. I'm not finna sit here and dawn you that next dude, but I'm gonna give you the opportunity to become it. You deserve it. You play well enough to get that opportunity. Crossman, whatever. I don't like him like y'all. I mean, I don't like him like y'all. He got beat just a little too much a little more. See, all of them make plays, but got to be a little bit more than Kohu. So yeah, Trill and all them other guys that got hurt, they were too green on the team. I need to see a larger sample size before I even tell you how I feel. Noah Igbenogany ain't worth talking about. Brandon Jones just coming into himself, becoming that dude, got hurt. The jury's still out. Like where he was headed, but you never know what you get out of a guy after an injury. Javon Holland, that's an interesting one. We just automatically gave him clout, credit, said he was great, and he was in a Flores system. In a traditional too high, the jury's still out for me. He has the skill to do well, but he's not as effective, and I need him to be more effective in a traditional too high safety when we're forced to. I need him to be more consistent in that role. He makes plays in it, but I need him to be more consistent. In a Flores system, sending the blitzes and being a free roamer and all of that, phenomenal. So jury's still out as an overall safety. I think he's still going to be great, but I still got to see a little more from Holland. Jason Sanders, I used to have an addiction to him, and as far as loving him, now it's like, whatever. At least you ain't the Cowboys kicker. That made me feel better about you, but he fell off a little, but it still wasn't horrible as we made it seem. It was bad, but it wasn't horrible. The punter is real good. I love the punter. Outside of that, bro, that's it. I don't dislike people. I don't like none of our linebackers. I lie. But you get my point. It ain't that I dislike people, but this whole team, 80% of them got an issue. 80% of these guys is something to be concerned about. Performance and production starting to decline. Or whatever it may be. Or you're constantly injured. Or something. So stop accusing me of hating on the team when I'm just giving you the straight up truth. I'm not hating on them, man. I love this team. I love the Miami Dolphins, bro. I love them. That's why I'm doing this channel. But in loving them, I've learned I can't sit here and continue to just be abused. I got to call out what I see, bro. And that's all I do on this channel. But it gives you a realistic expectation of this team. It gives you a realistic expectation. And a lot of time we want to be lied to. It feels good. You want to know that we're going to win, and then you want us to win. But aren't you tired of getting told we're going to win, but we lose? And some of these things we see ahead of time. It's easy to say X is going to be X, but I've been telling y'all the decline is on the way. We need to trade him now. What are we starting to see? I'm telling you this stuff ahead of time, the possibilities. I love this team, man. I'm not negative about this team. I'm truthful. If the truth is negative, then they need to change it, not me. I want to talk nothing but positivity, but you got to give me something positive to talk about. You got to give me something positive to talk about. It's that simple. It's that simple, man. Told y'all in preseason, Gesicki has no place in this offense. Bro, they franchise tagged him. Mike McDaniel will be creative and find ways to use him. Come again? You have no faith in Mike McDaniel. He's a guru. He gonna use Gesicki. He gonna go off this year. At one point, y'all had me saying that crap. I think Gesicki might go off this year. Mike McDaniel might scheme him. Man, I went to training camp. I said, man, Mike Gesicki ain't even on this team. You might well put him on IR. Told y'all that. People got mad at me. You have always negative, have no faith in the team. You'll see Mike Gesicki going to have a big year. Franchise tag this man and ain't do nothing with him. Paying this man, paying a receiver $8 million and don't even use him, got 100 and something yards, 12 catches. You can't make this stuff up. Cedric Wilson. You can't make this stuff up, man. I still can't get over that Cedric Wilson contract. $8 million a year to give him 12 catches and 100 and something yards. Man, you can't make this stuff up. I'm telling y'all, you could have just kept Parker for 5. And they use him in Sherfield on the same play. 80% of their plays is a 15-yard dig. Sitting down in the zone, Tua hitting them. Somewhere around the third quarter, every time. Whoops, Cedric Wilson out wide. Yep, he about to run that 15-yard dig. There you go, Tua, there you go. Completion. 2 yards after the catch, 17 yards. Let's go. First down. Every time, somewhere around the third quarter. It's always dialed up. Lord, man. They like, don't worry, y'all. This is the Tyreek and Waddle show, but remember, around 6 minutes in the third quarter, I'm going to call your number. Jesus. TD, you are interact with us. You're just talking, read the chat. I'm trying to bring something to your attention. Is that what you're trying to bring to my attention? What you just said? You're just talking, read the chat. I'm actually reading the chat. I'm responding to what you're saying in the chat. TD, man, I don't know when this fan base is going to start appreciating your knowledge of this game of football. The Bills GM shared the same sentiment about rookie QB contracts to go win it all. Go on Michael Parsons. I know, bro. Let me tell you something, man. I don't do this to just do it and just blab stuff. I create my own theory, football theory. In order for me to create my own football theory, I have to study the game. I got to study what the winning teams are doing. I got to study what the losing teams are doing. I got to study the trends on which teams are paying who. Who put their money on the O-line? Who put it on the secondary? Who put it on the O-line? Who put it on the linebackers? What formula's working? What formula works only against this but fails against that? I do all that research, man, and I study all that stuff. I look for the reason why something is good and why it's bad. And I also look for the reason why it's good and it may actually not be good. And a lot of people are getting fooled out here by a lot of stuff in football. I do my freaking research. And when I sit here and tell y'all how this thing is going, it's so crazy how many times what I tell y'all is proven right, but it's proven right a year or 2 or 3 later. And people don't recognize we've been talking about this for the longest. This rookie contract stuff we've been talking about for 3 years now. I've made it a big issue. Now you got general managers out here telling you, no, I can't take nothing from the Bengals. They beat us simply because they enjoying the luxury of having Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow on a rookie contract. That's the epitome of what I've been telling you. You got to take advantage of these rookie deals because you'll be able to have more talent surround them than they will when they get the money. And for that GM to say that, I'm shocked he said it. I would have kept my mouth quiet. Because basically you just said there ain't nothing we can do against that. I mean, we're paying Josh Allen a hefty amount going forward. We're paying Stephon Diggs a hefty amount. Ain't nothing we can do about that. You basically are conceding that you know that it's going to be hard to compete against them regardless while they're on rookie deals. The great quarterbacks, that is. That's if people hit on their guy on a rookie deal. If you got it right, if your draft picks were right, you got the advantage. All right. Mommy's coming, okay? You got the advantage, man. There you go. But yeah, man, like I said, man, if Grill drafted well in 2020, we wouldn't be at this situation now with the cap. Just like you said, TD, that rebuild took a turn when he couldn't draft well and now went free agent shopping. Guess what? Imagine if he would have hit. Imagine if Tua wasn't a question. That's number one. Imagine if Austin Jackson would have been even a discount version of Teron Armstead. Teron Armstead wouldn't be here then. Austin Jackson will be balling at the left tackle spot just like Larry Tunsil was. Imagine if Noah was that dude, we would have never gave X his money. He was supposed to be X's replacement, not Byron. Let's remember that. He was supposed to be X's replacement. And we would have had draft picks for X when we traded him and let Noah take over. That's what we were talking about 3 years ago when the rebuild happened. I say, okay, right now things are good, but we got to hope that we hit. Austin Jackson ain't the guy, so now you got to waste draft capital. You got to waste money, whatever it is, money for Austin, for Teron Armstead. Now you got to waste money to re-sign Xavier Howard, knowing you didn't want to. That's why you drafted Noah to begin with. Don't forget that. Noah was not Byron's replacement. Noah was X's replacement. Then we would have needed to find a new replacement after that for Byron 2 years later. Don't forget that, y'all. That's what it was. We never had the intention to re-up Xavier Howard's deal. That's why it was such a stress that he was talking about holding out. But they failed with the Noah pick. And they failed with the Austin Jackson pick. Setting us back. And in essence, causing us to spend guaranteed money on first round picks and guaranteed money on the Armstead to replace them. Replacement. They only franchise tagged him because Hunter Long didn't work out. Failed. Hey y'all, got I have no idea what happened. I'm actually on a cell phone hotspot, but my internet just cut out and it says that it's good, but it literally just cut out on me. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. So hopefully I'll figure that out. But I'm about to get out of here anyway, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hit the like button on your way out. Um, Sorry about that. But yeah, man, we'll talk more about it tomorrow. We screwed up as an organization, like I told y'all, and now we trying to cover up them screw ups by spending money. But that same money is what we could have been using to finish our complete team if we would have hit. But instead, it's almost like we're paying double draft picks and all that didn't hit. That's what's going on with this team right now. So love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. Like I said, I'm finna get out of here. Y'all have a great night. Fans up no matter what. Peace. I'm out.